Now, CIL 650 presents It's Your Money, an up-close and personal look at your finances. Here's your host, Fred Snyder.
Up in the morning and out to school. The teacher is teaching the
Okay, we're back. Remind you once again, ladies and gentlemen, this is a live show. The first hour you listened to was a playback from a previous week. Lots of good advice there, and I'm sure many of you called Frida as a result of that program, but now we're live, so you can talk to me. Get on the phone. Give us a call. We're talking about your money and how to keep it, and the emphasis is on how to keep it. It's not about making money that counts. It's how much you keep. What's the point in working all your life and making millions of dollars if you spend it all? You got to learn to spend less than you earn, and you got to learn to invest that money so that it can grow and create a second income for yourself. That's what this show is all about, and we teach you. The emphasis is on teaching. We teach you how to become financially independent sooner and stay financially independent longer, because a lot of us don't get there, and those that do, many of those who do, end up being broke by the time they're 70 because they didn't deal with taxes and inflation. So ask yourself this question: how long have I worked? How much money have I made? How much of that do I have left today? And am I happy with the answers? And the chances are you're not. And met very few people that can say, well, I'm really happy about the job I've done with my money. We learn how to earn money, we learn how to spend it, but they don't teach us in school how to save it. That's one thing they should do. They teach us reading, writing, and arithmetic, helps us make money, but doesn't help us keep it. So once again, join us, talk to us. We'd like to have conversations with you, our listeners, about your money, and again, more importantly, about your money and how to keep it. The number to call is area code 604-280-0650, 604-280-0650. If you're calling long distance, it's 877-280-0650. And for those who are shy or reluctant to talk on the air for any reason whatsoever, you can talk to Frida. Frida's down at the office right now at area code 604-737-3512. 737-3512. If you're calling long distance, it's 800-661-1495. We're going to talk about lots of stuff today, so I'm going to throw the airwaves wide open. You might have a comment that you want to make. You might have a question. You might be worried about the markets. You might be worried about your portfolio. You might be just in a position that you just don't know what to do. And you're thinking, I'd like to do better financially. I just don't know how to do it. Let's talk about it. 604-280-0650. Long distance, 877-280-0650. Today we're going to talk about health and wealth and how they go hand in hand. What happens if you die before you run out of money? Well, your kids get a lot of money. They inherit it. But what happens if your money dies before you do? Let's say you run out of money at 90 and you live to be 115 because of all the new things they have to keep us going these days. It's like the ever-ready battery. It keeps going and going and going, okay? Same thing. So joining me is Vincent Millardo. Now, he runs the Millardo Wellness Center. And if you have any questions about health, feel free to call. You can introduce yourself further. You have some degrees here on your card, so you tell us about what you do, Vince.
Thank you, Fred. I'm the founder and director of Millardo Wellness Center, which is a firm specializing in offering hypnotherapy, life coaching, and counseling services to individuals, to groups, couples, small businesses, etc. I've been doing that for over 25 years. I specialize in habits, in having people basically set goals for themselves, health-related, relationally, and or to do with basically things like stop smoking, weight loss, overcoming fears and phobias.
Now you're telling me you can hypnotize me and make me lose weight? Can you?
Yes, I can. That's right.
Wow, fantastic.
Yeah.
Okay, and if I'm doing any other bad things, like I have a cliche I use all the time, form good habits and become their slave.
Yeah.
Too many people form bad habits and become their slave. I want to get rid of all my bad habits, and you can hypnotize me and get me to do that?
That's my specialty. Yes, I can.
Wow.
Yeah.
And maybe I'll live longer. Now I got to make sure my money lives as long as I do.
That's right.
That's how the two fit so nicely together, health and wealth. They rhyme.
Very important.
On top
Very
of
important.
that.
That's
Okay.
right, Fred. For example, a lot of people spend so much of their time work, and what happens is work requires huge amount of your time. And there's a lot of stress today with the demands and pressures of work. And what happens, it creates oftentimes an out of balance life. And if you spend all that time work and not balancing the other parts of your life, one day you're going to find that you're going to be spending a lot of that money you've accumulated in trying to get your health back. So they're definitely connected.
So if I could wave a wand, or you could wave a magic wand in front of a whole crowd of people and say, by one wave of this wand, I can make you all live to be 120, how many people would turn you down? I don't think too many, right?
Yeah.
But most of those people are going to run out of money by the time they're 85.
Yeah.
So that's a real conundrum, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
So why is it that people fail to accumulate money? And why is it people fail with their health? They don't look after their health very well. We're obese. We're out of shape. Why is that?
Well, I think, Fred, looking at you, you're very disciplined, very focused in the financial area, right?
Yeah.
And so
Have trouble losing the gut, though.
yeah, exactly my point. I have others, for example, who are, they can be like almost elite athletes, but in terms of financial other areas of their life, that's where the balance is required, right? So they say that about 40% of what we do are habits, and sometimes there's a mention that about 30% is genetics, but you can change your life for the better. And it's a matter of, for example, let's say we're talking about weight loss. One of the first things I do is I identify what are the cues or triggers around, for example, that are...
It's like impulse control.
Yeah, exactly. So oftentimes, let's say if someone's walking by a bakery and they smell that wonderful croissant, it goes right through the nose, straight to the brain. There was no sensor.
If that's me, I'm dead.
Then they walk right in and they don't know what happened, right?
Yep.
But in terms of using the hypnotherapy for weight loss, once we identify what your cues are, then we break up the triggers. So, for example, your cue might be it gives you reward, or it could be, for example, you eat because of stress eating, or it could be emotional triggers. So the triggers are very important to identify, and then break them up into other healthier patterns. Same, for example, with someone who wants to stop smoking. Someone will come to me and they'll say, well, I want to stop smoking. I've been smoking for 30, 40 years. Then they come in after 1 or 2 sessions, let's say, and all of a sudden they go, wow, I don't understand. I've stopped smoking. How is that possible, right?
Don't have that impulse.
Yeah, it's been replaced. It's been broken up. Had a gentleman once was waking up 3 o'clock in the morning, like clockwork, attacking the fridge, but he couldn't remember that. So he had like a double whammy, almost like sleepwalking and eating everything in the fridge.
His oven has a hot dog or something.
Just take whatever was in the fridge. It was completely gone, right? And I found out when I looked into it, he was extremely stressed. It was the stress from being responsible for 9 employees. It was the stress of all these things that were not being released from his body, from his mind, from emotional system. And I put a suggestion in there that said you will stop waking up at 3 o'clock in the morning, stop eating the food in the fridge. And he came back a couple of weeks later and says, I don't understand. What did you do? I stopped getting up in the morning. I stopped attacking the fridge.
You give him a
right?
post-hypnotic suggestion.
That's correct. That's correct.
Okay. Wow. Unbelievable. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, if you just tuned in, I'm certified financial planner Fred Snyder, also registered financial planner. I'm interviewing Vincent Millardo, who's in the wellness business. He's a hypnotherapist, and he can do all kinds of things. He can help you, and I'll just say it generally, he can help you break all the bad habits that you want to get rid of. Because we're a victim of bad habits. If we're not doing everything just the way we want to, it's usually because we have a bad habit. And it's generally lack of impulse control. Need to take a couple of calls here. Got Mohammed from Richmond. Mohammed, welcome to the program. Hi, Mohammed. Is Mohammed out there? I guess he's gone. Mohammed, if you're listening, again, call back. We'll be happy to take your call. 604-280-0650. Long distance, 877-280-0650. Log on, www.cisle.650.com. And for those who are shy, reluctant to talk on the air, those who want to make an appointment to see myself, or those who might want an assessment from Vincent Millardo, you can call Frida right now. She's down at the office. Area code 604-737-3512. Long distance 800-661-1495. We're talking about your money and your health. I'm going to add that in there. Your money and your health, and how to keep it. How to keep your money, how to keep your health. because you can run out of both, believe it or not. And Albert Einstein once said the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and over again and expecting a different result. Hans Selye wrote a book, Stress Without Distress, and in there he says, fight for your highest attainable aim, but never put up resistance in vain. That's stress. That's fighting battles that you can't win. He said, fight by all means. If you think you can win, fight. But if you can't win, give up. Don't fight. Okay? Well, maybe we can help you in that area. Is Mohammed there yet? Hi, Mohammed. You're on the air. Welcome back.
Yeah. Hello.
Hi. I hear you.
Yeah. Okay. I had the same problem. Like I heard on the phone two calls before this. Lots of money and lots of taxes I pay. So I don't know what is GOWB. Can you tell me?
I didn't. Were you referring to LWB's lifetime benefit withdrawal programs?
Yeah, that's right.
That's a form of income. You can buy an income that's better than a straight annuity.
Yeah.
That's an income that has a cash value to it. You can cash it in. So you can make an investment in one of those products that will guarantee you an income for as long as you live.
Yeah.
With full access to your principal.
How do I buy this? From the bank or from where?
You can buy them from any financial advisor. I'd prefer you'd buy it from me if you want to buy one.
Yeah, could we get together and find
Yes, and I'll tell you how you do that. You do that by giving Frida a call. She's there right now. You can reach Frida at area code 604-737-3512.
I have to write it down. Could you hold on 1 second only?
Sure.
Just 1 second. Yeah, what's the number?
Okay. The number is 604
Yeah.
737-3512.
Sorry?
737
Yeah.
3512.
3512. Okay, that's good enough.
She's at that number right now. So if
Yeah,
you phone that number, you'll get her right off the bat.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Okay, thanks for your call, Mohammed.
Bye-bye.
Appreciate it. Mohammed's line is now open, so if you've just joined us, I'm certified financial planner Fred Snyder, also registered financial planner. That's two professional designations. I represent Scotia McLeod. But my mission, my raison d'etre, what I do is teach people what they need to know to make better financial decisions. And by the same token, Vincent, what is it you do?
What I do is I basically have people call me who need help in improving their health, their wellness, and improve their personal, their relational life. I also help them increase their business, if that's what they want to focus on. So basically, I've been doing this for over 25 years, dedicated to helping people help themselves improve their personal, relational, and work-life balance.
What do you think of these things you can buy? They're called Fitbit. Are you familiar with what I'm talking about? Little thing you put around your wrist. It counts calories, tells you how many hours you slept last night. Gives you feedback on just every area of your health.
I know they're coming up with some interesting apps and watches you can wear that monitor, for example, your sleep patterns, right?
Yeah.
I can't comment because I haven't used or worked with them myself, but I would say it'd probably be worth trying them for size and to see what sort of effect it would have.
I thought they'd make great Christmas presents for some people.
Yeah, I can't really comment because I haven't tried them myself, but I'm familiar and I know that some clients I work with are working with some apps, for example, that help them check in with their diet or with their exercise, right? So I would say probably there's enough out there that it would be worth researching a few.
Well, one of the things that's important when you're pursuing an objective, a goal, whatever it might be, again, I say that your hopes, your plans, your dreams, and your ambitions need to be refined into concrete goals. And one way to achieve those goals is to get good feedback. You got to know how you're doing along the way.
Very true.
So how do you get the feedback, okay? That's what Fitbit does.
Yeah.
I have one, so I'm familiar with it. And I just wonder what your opinion is on it. And I think I'm going to buy some as some gifts.
Yeah.
Because it's feedback.
Yeah.
And isn't that feedback the same thing when it comes to your financial life? How am I doing? I want to be a millionaire by the time I'm 55. I'm 45 now. How am I doing? Am I on track? Am I off track? How are my investments doing? Do I have the best investments that's going to get me from where I am right now to where I want to go? Is that what's going on in my life? If it is, then I'm on track and I feel good and I'm happy. Someone once said the definition of happiness is the gradual realization of worthwhile goals. And too many people don't have any goals, and that's why they're miserable. Or if they have goals, the goals are way too lofty, way beyond their ability, so they just give up and they don't even try. So you need to make a plan. You need to make a wealth plan and a health plan. And maybe together we can do that with some clients. Okay?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. I had an experience. All my life, I didn't quite believe in hypnotism sometimes, but I was at a convention one time, and the hypnotist actually hypnotized quite a few people, and it was so good it couldn't have been faked.
I think you're referring to probably stage hypnosis,
Yes.
which is more entertainment hypnosis, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And the hypnosis I do is more therapeutic. It's more hypnotherapy, more, like you mentioned, a goal, more with having an intention in order to either change something, improve something, or work towards healing an outcome, right? Stage hypnosis, basically, the stage hypnotist goes through, let's say, 40 people in the audience, narrows down the 3 or 5 that are the most deep trance susceptible, and then is able to put on an entertaining show. And that's more for the entertainment value, right? And you're probably familiar with, it was a Canadian, there was a famous stage hypnotist.
Might have been the same guy. I don't remember his name now.
Yeah, and he had a great vaudeville English type of accent, and he was really quite popular with stage hypnosis.
Okay, so let's say that I come and I see you. What happens? What's the process?
Process is the first step. I spent about the first half hour getting to know you as a person. Basically, each person is different, and as I listen, I take notes in terms of who you are, what your greatest challenge is, or your problem, your issue. And as I jot down the notes, I pay attention also to your language pattern. Your language says a lot to me about what's going on with you. And once I do that, then I ask you, what is it that you want to achieve in the sessions? What's the desired outcome? For example, do you want to overcome the symptoms of severe anxiety? Or if you have stress, right? Do you want to stop smoking? Do you want to lose weight? So get very clear in your goal. Then I design a very specific, customized plan of action based on your needs and who you are and your personality. Then the second half of the session, I start working with the hypnotherapy process. And I customize the future sessions specifically to your goal. And I do this for a while, and it varies with each person. Some sessions might take just a few. Others may be a little more involved. It might take 4 to 6 sessions, sometimes as much as 8. Others may be just a few.
It's expensive?
It's very reasonable. Depends what you define by expensive. It varies, depending on whether you're doing hourly or whether you're doing by program. It's less expensive if you do by program.
Can you give me an example?
Example of fees, or well, fees range anywhere from about $160 to $190 per hour.
Okay. Someone once said, "Well, I can't afford it," and I say, "Well, if you can't afford it, you can't afford not to." It fits. Everything's got a price. It can't be for free.
That's right.
So again, you pay yourself first financially, and when it comes to your health, you pay yourself first too.
That's right.
And maybe this is the way to do it. So if someone comes to you, like myself, and I want to lose some weight, I want to stay away from that fridge.
Yeah.
You're going to hypnotize me and tell me you're going to give me a post-hypnotic suggestion that says in the future, when I wake up at 3 o'clock in the middle of the night, I'm not going to go to the fridge and have that hot dog or whatever I have.
Yeah, an example, Fred, would be I had a lady, like a client quite a while back, and she absolutely had no interest to exercise, right? And there's a couple of what I call pillars. Pillars, one is changing your eating habit patterns, so you're eating healthy food and getting rid of junk food or snacking, for example, right? Then there's got to be some form of movement or exercise. And then there's the hypnosis or self-hypnosis to put you into that deeper altered state where those feel-good feelings and chemicals begin to be released in your body. And in her case, she absolutely had no interest in exercising. So I had to find out, well, how can I redirect her attention to something that is healthier? She had a secret desire to want to write. So I started encouraging her to write. And then she started writing and going for walks every day, half hour, but every single day. Half hour started increasing to 45 minutes, right? Then she started writing so much that she started finally writing this novel she always wanted to write. All of a sudden, food was not as important as it used to be. It got replaced.
Her mind is distracted.
Yeah, and redirected.
Got a new obsession.
New obsession, which is healthy, which is constructive, And by the end of 2 months, she lost 30 pounds.
30 pounds.
30 pounds.
Wow.
Yeah.
Can you imagine me 30 pounds later? Wow, wouldn't that be great? I'm going to come and see you. Number to call, 604-280-0650. Long distance, 877-280-0650. Log on, www.cisle.650.com. Frida down at the office for those who are shy. 604-737-3512. That's the action number anyway. You want to do something, you want to make an appointment, you want to see me, you want to get a written financial plan, no cost or obligation, second opinion on your investment portfolio, no cost or obligation, give Frida a call. 604-737-3512. If you're over on the island or you're anywhere within range, long distance, 1-800-661-1495. Again, I'm certified financial planner Fred Snyder, also registered financial planner representing Scotia McLeod. My raison d'etre is to teach people what they need to know to make better financial decisions. I'm talking with Vincent Millardo, who has his own company, Millardo Wellness Center, specializing in helping people into a better state of health. So I help you get wealthy. He helps you get healthy. Good partnership. They go hand in hand. Okay? Once again, 604-280-0650. Long distance, 877-280-0650. You can log on. You want to see what we look like? It's www.cisle.650.com. And for those who just want to cut to the chase, Frida's down at the office. Make an appointment. Come on in and see me. No cost, no obligation. 604-737-3512. Long distance, 800-661-1495. So again, what can you do to do better financially? I keep refining this all the time. I keep thinking about how do you really put that in a nutshell? Well, the first thing you do, you spend less than you earn. I don't care if you don't even earn much. You don't spend it all. So you say, well, I only make $2,000 a month. I can't. You don't have to spend it all. Spend 90% of it. Put 10% of it away for yourself. Save 10 cents out of every dollar. Make that a habit. Okay? Form good habits and become their slave. From now on, every time I make a buck, I'm going to save 10 cents. Now, if you keep doing that, you're going to end up with a new problem. You're going to have, your bank account's going to get too big. So all of a sudden, your bank account has $200,000 in it, earning hardly anything. You got to invest some of that money. So you got to take the money out of the bank account, leave enough money in the bank account to cover maybe 6 months of expenses, your budget for 6 months. Invest the difference in a portfolio which is called strategic asset allocation. Some is cash, some is fixed income, and some is equities. Get a professional financial planner such as myself to design that for you or help you with that. So you got an investment program. Then monitor the investment program regularly. The Richest Man in Babylon, in that book, he says, part of everything you earn is yours to keep. So keep it. Entrust it to experts and leave it to compound. That's the simple secret. And you can expand on all those. I could talk about any one of those areas for hours. But that's the highlights. And that's what a wise man once said. So basically, it's not about how much you make that counts. It's about how much you keep. There's 13 major reasons why we fail financially. I have a pamphlet here. Anybody who calls the show will make sure you get one of these. And those, it used to be 3. I changed it to 13. Why 13? Unlucky number. Because I could probably give you 101 reasons why people fail financially. But they all really stem from one thing, and that's not having goals. Having goals overcomes just about any roadblock that you can think about. Napoleon Hill, in his book Think and Grow Rich, says anything that you can vividly imagine, ardently desire, and enthusiastically act upon will inevitably come to pass. He says if you have goals, you're almost automatically going to get there if you can visualize them clearly. So you don't say, I want to be rich. You define what rich is. I want to have $2,500,000 in the bank by the time I'm 50. That's a lot more clear than being rich. I want to live in a 4,000 square foot house on the ocean with a dock and a 40-foot cruiser tied up at my back door. I want to have a summer place at Whistler and a summer place in the States someplace, in Arizona or California. Define your goals. Make them very clear. Make them very specific, and you'll get there. You'll do all the things that are necessary. The birds don't need a plan to fly south. They just do it. They know they have to. Let's talk to Bev from Surrey. Bev, welcome to the program.
Hi, Fred.
Hi, Bev.
You were talking about the GLWB route.
Yes.
I've never heard of that before. I was just wondering, it sounds too good to be true. What's the downside to it?
Well, there really isn't. It's a very, you're not going to get rich with the GLWB, but what a GLWB program is going to do, it's going to make sure that your money lives as long as you do. Okay? That's what it was designed to do in the first place. Manulife came out with the first one, and then there was many companies after that. But basically, they recognized that a lot of people were living longer, and because they were living longer, but they didn't plan on their money living as long as they did. And they were going broke, so they saw a need for this product. So this product guarantees an income for life. Canada Life has a pretty good one. Manulife have one. There's several companies have them. There was about 12 companies about 5 years ago had them, and many of the companies rolled them back, cut the benefits, or quit selling them altogether because they were too risky for the company. But essentially, this is a program that will provide you with an income that's guaranteed for life. Here's the way to think about it. If you receive the Canada Pension Plan, anybody that does, you have what's known as a defined benefit pension plan. Your benefit, the check that you get every month, $600, $1,000, whatever it is, that check you get every month is clearly defined. It's inflation adjusted. But you can't go to the Canadian government and say, well, there's $300,000 in assets in the pot that's backing that up. I want my $300,000. You can't cash it in. With a GLWB, it's a defined benefit pension plan that's liquid. You can take your capital if you want it. Not necessarily a good idea, but you can. Most annuities are guaranteed for life as well, maybe with a survivor benefit or guaranteed for a certain period of time. But once you buy that annuity, you can't go to the insurance company and say, give me my money back.
Right.
You have to wait for the monthly payment. So the GLWB is something between like having a liquid security and an annuity at the same time. It's got the best of all worlds.
Right.
And if you're looking for a guaranteed income, this is one of the best ways to get it.
Right. So your principal would go down each year, though, I gather, or,
Well, the principal goes down. That's correct. The cost base goes down, but the income, if you live to be 200, the income will still continue. Never stops.
Is that right? The same amount, you mean?
Yes, that's correct.
Every month or every year?
You can take it yearly, quarterly, or monthly.
Interesting.
And if you qualify, it's worth taking a look at.
Yeah, that sounds good.
So the best thing to do would be to give Frida a call, and you can reach Frida right now at area code 604-737-3512.
Okay, got that down. Okay, thank you.
Can't tell you how much I appreciate your call. Enjoy the rest of the weekend, and you going to watch the Grey Cup?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Okay, big day. Okay,
Bye.
You take care. Okay, Bev's line is now open, so once again, if you've just joined us, I'm certified, like it's stamped right on my back. Certified financial planner Fred Snyder, also registered financial planner representing Scotia McLeod. I made it my mission to teach people what they need to know to make better financial decisions. So we're teaching you how to do that. And again, Vincent is prepared to teach you how to be healthier. That's what it's all about, and we'll continue talking about that when we come back. Don't go away.
Fred Snyder.
I want people to call the show that are genuinely interested in increasing their financial IQ so that they can become financially independent sooner and stay financially independent longer.
Fred Snyder.
You don't have a blueprint. Imagine trying to build a house without a blueprint. And how about having a blueprint for your life? What are your lifestyle goals? You need to think about your family life. What are your goals about your family life? What are your lifestyle goals when it comes to health? What are your lifestyle goals when it comes to finances, mental and spiritual? You have to set goals in all those areas. not just finances.
Fred Snyder.
Often we fail because we put too much emphasis on one area and ignore everything else. We work our butts off and we ruin our health. So life is all about balance. So you need a life plan.
Fred Snyder.
Napoleon Hill says this, wrote the book Think and Grow Rich. Anything that you can vividly imagine, ardently desire, and enthusiastically act upon will inevitably come to pass.
Fred Snyder.
My goal, my mission is to help people enhance their financial IQs by teaching them what they need to know to make better financial decisions.
Fred Snyder. Sunday mornings at 9 on CIL 650. This is It's Your Money on CIL 650. Here once again is Fred Snyder.
Okay, we're back. Remind you once again, ladies and gentlemen, this is a live show. First hour that we did today, we've been on here for 2 hours. The first hour was live. The first hour was a replay. The second hour is live. And again, we take your calls. We like to have conversations with you, our listeners, about your money, more importantly, about your money and how to keep it. I'm here with Vincent Millardo, who represents the Millardo Wellness Center, and he teaches people what they need to know to be healthier. He's got all kinds of techniques to do that. It's within your grasp financially. It's not overpriced. And again, I don't know that it could be overpriced. What's the value of tremendous health? Put a big tag on that, okay? What's the value of being able to sleep better? What's the value of having more energy and less stress? What's the value in just feeling better about yourself? What's the value in being able to give up the weed, the cigarettes, and all that stuff, okay? So again, someone once said, form good habits and become their slave. That's what we're talking about. And if you got some bad ones, it's time to shed them. It's time to get rid of them. So we're trying to motivate you. And God, I can't do a very good job because I'm not getting a lot of calls. I would think that the phone would be ringing off the wall. We have Bev from Surrey on the line. Bev, welcome to the program. Hi there. Oh, Bev's gone. Okay, Bev, call back. Okay, so once again, 604-280-0650. Long distance, 877-280-0650. We're talking about your money, more importantly, about your money and how to keep it. I often do this, and I'm just going to click on it here. I don't know how many people are going to be able to see that, but there's a brand new born baby. I don't think we have any of those guys listening to the show right now, but that guy says there's 22,463 days left until retirement. That's the life expectancy of a newborn baby boy. Think about that. So it doesn't seem like a long time when you think 22,000 days. Where are you? How many days do you have left until retirement? You're going to retire in 5 years? How many days is that? Maybe 10 years? Where are you at on the lifeline? Where do you stand? Because you have to say, I'm 40 or 50 or whatever age you are. You have to start by saying, this is my age. And my plan is to retire when I'm 60. Or maybe like Freedom 55 at age 55. Okay, so if I retire at 55 and my life expectancy is 80, I need an income that's going to last 25 years. So how much principal do I need at age 55 to support the income that I need? Well, you start, first of all, by defining the income that you need. So when I retire, I'm going to need $40,000 a year, inflation adjusted for 25 years. So how much capital would I need at the beginning of that period? Now, I'm 10 years away from that point, so how much capital do I need today to have that much at that point in time? And I can add $1,000 a month to that. You need to know what the calculations are. Now, is there anybody out there right now that knows how to make those calculations? I'll bet you very, very few. And let me tell you further that you need to know what those calculations are. That's what it's all about. You need to sit down with a financial advisor and say, I want you, Mr. Financial Advisor, or Mrs. Financial Advisor, to make me a financial plan that tells me exactly how much money I need to be able to retire when I want to retire, which tells me exactly what my income needs will be, what income I will have, what the shortfall is if there's a shortfall. I need to analyze my portfolio, and I need to know that I have the best securities inside my portfolio, generating the best rate of return at the lowest risk possible. And all that is measurable. Now, I talked to 20 people last week. I saw 20 different profiles. That's 4 every single day. Sometimes I see 5, even more. Last week it was 20. So I get an opportunity to see the income, the expenses, the assets, the liabilities of all people. I see how much insurance they have, whether they have a will or not. I see whether they're spending more money than they're earning, or the other way around. I see their investments, and I can look at their investments and analyze them and say, are those investments doing what they should do? The expected rate of return on the investment portfolio, as measured by the formulas that we use to measure it, is 5%, but this particular person needs 7 to achieve the goals. They're not going to get there. If the expected return is it turns out to be what it is, or should be, they will fall short. And they won't even know that until they get there, and then it's too late to fix it. So you need to have a portfolio set up that's professionally done and professionally managed and monitored. So how do you monitor your portfolio? How often do you look at it? I had a fellow in my office last week that has 80 different stocks in a portfolio. And he doesn't manage it himself. His broker's managing it. That's an almost impossible job. Imagine having to look at 80 stocks every single day and saying, should I buy more of this or should I sell this? Should I be switching this for that? Expected rate of return on that portfolio will, by measurements, will fall short of what he needs to achieve his financial objectives. He says that his tolerance for risk is low, but the portfolio is fairly high risk, so it's unsuitable. I want you to think about that and much, much more. I want you to think about how proactive am I when it comes to managing my money, and how proactive am I when it comes to managing my health. They go hand in hand. I want you to think about this. I once knew a fellow by the name of John Craker, who was an actuary, worked for the federal government, and under the Pearson administration when they launched the Canada Pension Plan in 1965. You know what the life expectancy for a Canadian male in 1965 was? It was age 70. 5 years. So the Canada Pension Plan was designed to produce an income for a retired male. Female would be slightly smaller because females would live a little longer. But for a Canadian male, for only 5 years. Fairly easy to do. Well, what's the life expectancy of the average Canadian male right now? It's 83, not 7. That's 13 more years of income. So now that's 18 years of income as opposed to 5. So the management of the Canada Pension Plan becomes exceedingly more critical because the demands on that pool of money are increasing. And life expectancy is getting greater and greater and greater. In my career, I've had 4 ladies who are over 100. Currently have 2. I want you to think about that, okay? And everybody wants to live longer, healthier lives. But you got to make sure that your money lasts as long as you do. Hence, you have to have the right portfolio. You got to get it right, because you don't get a second chance. I'm going to say that again. You got to get it right because you don't get a second chance. So how do you get it right? You get a second opinion on your investment portfolio. You get that by calling Frida. You can call Frida right now. Area code 604-737-3512. If you have a question or a comment, maybe you like this show, maybe you hate it, feel free to give us a call. Let's talk about it. 604-280-0650. Long distance, 877-344-5255. 280-0650. So, Vince, again, what are some of the areas that you have to deal with when it comes to health? Weight, we talked about some of them. What are some of the other things? Somebody wants to quit smoking.
Yeah. Some of the other issues that are a huge part of my practice are issues to do with anxiety or anxiety and panic attacks, overcoming fears and phobias such as fear of flying, overcoming fear of public speaking. Other issues are to do with symptoms of irritable bowel syndrome, IBS, which is very common. So that's a very huge one and seems to be increasing more and more throughout the years. That and anxiety symptoms are huge, caused by stress, which is the common factor in all of these.
So what is stress? What is it?
Well, I think way back when Hans Selye wrote the book, The Stress of Life, I think it was.
Stress without distress.
Right. And he was trying to coin a word to describe stress. And I think it came from an engineering term, right? And now if you look at people's vocabulary, they actually have words like stop stressing, which wasn't even the vocabulary before. I think that's being caused by our society just pushing and pushing around trying to do more and produce more, and companies setting up that they want to produce more for the employees and not multitasking. And you know, I was calling the auto shop for my car, and the gentleman said, "Oh, I'm too overwhelmed. We're multitasking. We'll call you back." And that was 2 days later, right?
Yeah.
So the thing with the accumulation now of smartphones, tablets, etc., people going around feeling overwhelmed and overloaded, basically. And that's going to have a direct effect on your brain and on your body. So part of the challenge is how to create a sense of proper balance to shut off this overactive mind that's always on. So when people go to sleep at night, they can't even shut it off, and they start not having a good night's sleep. They don't wake up refreshed. They wake up tired, mentally, emotionally exhausted. And so this is not a good thing.
So how to control stress?
Yeah.
Selye in the book, I read that book. I studied it. Because I was dealing with a lot of stress back in those days. This is 35 years ago. But in there, he says, fight for your highest attainable aim, but never put up resistance in vain. So he's essentially saying, if you think you can win, it's worth fighting for. But it's stupid to fight for something you can't achieve, that you know you can't achieve. There comes a point that you just give up. Maybe make a new goal or something like that. Okay? I've seen people, I've seen a license plate where it says never quit on the back. Well, Selye would have a talk with that guy, because maybe there is a time to quit. There is a time to give up. But it's a stubborn, it's having a goal and stubbornly to pursue it, dogmatically to pursue that particular goal. And people don't do that.
Yeah. Part of it is people, generally speaking, don't pace themselves enough or properly. So, for example, they're rushing as they're eating. They're not giving themselves enough frequent breaks. They all of a sudden are working like 16 to 18-hour days, 6 days a week. And so on the weekend, the mind is not having a chance to really shut off properly. And suddenly it's Monday, and the grind of the cycle starts all over again.
Let's take a call. Tracy, welcome to the program.
Hi, good morning, Fred. How are you?
Not too bad, Tracy. It's been a while. How are you?
Yes, we were away, had a nice vacation.
And one more vacation.
Another cruise.
I gotta talk about Tracy here for a minute. This lady has been to more of my workshops than anybody that I know. I've told her to buy a house. She won't buy a house. Her sole goal is to travel. And she's doing an awful lot of it. She just got back from another one, right?
Yes.
Sorry to cut you off. Go ahead, Tracy.
That's okay. I just wanted to say to your listeners that I just got a magazine in the mail on last week at some point, and I don't know if I should name the name of the magazine, but I get it on a regular basis.
I don't think there's a problem there if you want.
Okay. And in one of the articles, it mentioned that the safety deposit box is no longer a income tax deduction starting in 2014. To let your listeners know.
Well, that'll help the hungry government.
Yeah, right. So, like you said earlier, and I don't know whether it was on this show or the one before, the Income Tax Act, it's constantly changing and needing to be, you need to keep up to date with it so that you don't do something that ought not to happen.
Well, they're talking about bringing out more changes in the Tax Act regarding income splitting next year.
Yeah, right, exactly.
It's a whole
exactly.
new issue that we got to study up on. We got to stay up to date. I'm forced to be studying all the time now. After all the time I've been in this business, I got to study every day. I spent 2 hours studying this morning before I came out here.
Right. And listen, are you going to be starting up another set of classes? Or?
Yes, I will. I'll be doing that.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm working on a whole new series, and I got to script them, and I don't want to start doing classes until I get them finished. Because if I do that, then I never get them finished.
Yeah, right.
Because I have clients I have to look after, and the classes that I do take a fair amount of time.
Exactly.
I'm considering this, changing the classes so we do them on the weekends instead.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I might do something like that. I haven't figured that out yet, though.
Okay, listen, I want to say thanks, and if I don't talk to you before Christmas, you and your family have a nice holiday.
Well, Tracy, I can't tell how much I appreciate that, and I really appreciate your confidence.
Yes, thank you.
You take care and have a nice weekend.
Bye.
Bye now. Yeah, there's a real case study of somebody who she's been dealing with me for over 10 years now, and she had one trip that she took 2 years ago, 4 months, and she does 2 or 3 every year. And that's her plan. That's all she wants to do. I think that's fantastic, you know. So she has a clear, well-defined goal: world travel, in luxury, and she does it. So once again, ladies and gentlemen, and listeners out there, if you just joined us, I'm certified financial planner Fred Snyder, also registered financial planner representing Scotia McLeod. We're talking about health and wealth, and again, they do go hand in hand. And I need, I don't know all the questions to ask you, and I'm really stressed out about it. So here we are. Now, you are a CHE. CHT, what's that stand for?
Certified hypnotherapist.
Okay.
I'm also certified social counselor. And I also utilize life coaching in my practice. So that's my modus operandi.
So if somebody wants to feel better, they should talk to you.
Absolutely.
About their health.
Absolutely.
And if they want to feel better about their wealth, they should talk to me.
Absolutely.
So if you're stressed out about your money, if somebody's stressed out about money, here, I'm going to ask some advice.
Yes.
From you. Somebody's stressed out about money. They're just uptight like you won't believe it. What should they do? That's a big, broad, open-ended question.
Sure. I can share, for example, I had someone a little while back who financially, for example, their house is fine, but they're a certain age where they still need to work. Mm-hmm. And so they want to explore, what can I do at this age? What are my options? Mm-hmm. So in that particular scenario, I will actually guide them into looking at, you know what, you can still do something that is enjoyable, fulfilling. You just got to be able to create value and figure out what that is based on this time in your life, this age in your life, versus getting depressed about it, discouraged, stressed about it, right? Yep. And so absolutely, the two, very, very important. If the finances in your life are not together, it's going to create so much stress. It's going to affect your health, your mindset. It's going to affect your body. And so they are two very important part of what I call the whole picture. But the other important parts are also your relationship life. Mm-hmm. What state is your mind in? Is your mind like even? Is it positive, or is it anxious? Is it stressed?
Homeostasis or something like that.
And there's the physical. What shape is your health in? Mm-hmm. What shape are your finances in? Right.
Sure.
So it's the whole what I call wheel of life is very important, with you in the center. Mm-hmm. Because if you're not in the center, you're going to be spinning out of control from the stress, from the anxiety, from the fear, from worrying about your health. So the minute there's health symptoms, your mind starts going overdrive in worrying. Then it creates increased anxiety and stress.
Yeah.
So the balance is fundamental.
So it starts with establishing clearly defined goals when it comes to health and wealth.
Yeah.
When it comes to your personal situation, your social situation, your financial situation, your religious or your religion, whatever that may be, and your own mental health as well. So you got 5 areas where you need to set goals to be well balanced.
That's right. And
Got
then
to establish those goals.
And then begin what I call the workout in those areas, finding the time.
That's called paying yourself first.
Totally. People say, well, I don't have the time, I don't have the money. Yeah. 2 of the biggest ones, right?
Yep.
Part of my work is I show them how they can find the time and create more money, or more what I call abundance and prosperity, because money is one part. But if you don't have your health, you can be wealthy, but if your health is failing, you're in huge trouble.
For sure.
So health is all of it together, with you again in the center, and doing something every single day, no matter how small, towards that desired end result.
Well, it's like saving 10 cents out of every dollar you earn. And so from a health point of view, what should you do? Drink a couple glasses extra water every day or something like that?
All those things.
Anything.
Totally. If you're doing, for example, 15 minutes of cardio, add an extra 10 minutes 3 times a week. If you're used to eating and snacking during a weekday, stop, but maybe treat yourself on a Friday so that it doesn't control you, so that you control it. And then your body has...
That's key words.
Yeah.
You control it.
That's
it doesn't control you.
Totally. And a lot of people look for quick solutions. For example, the moment you go visit a doctor, it's not a put down the doctors, but they have 10 minutes to take a look at what's going on with you. And then the minute you say, here's a symptom, they go, well, here's a pill for that symptom. That doesn't work, try another pill, right?
Yep.
And at the end of the day, if that doesn't work, maybe we can cut you up and try surgery, right? Now, what I'm saying is instead, try increasing and improving your lifestyle. You can make lifestyle changes. You can stop smoking. You can stop excessive drinking, you see? Most of these things are mood changers. So you got to look at what am I trying to change here? Am I trying to relax? Am I trying to de-stress? Am I trying to decompress?
Why do people smoke? Why do they smoke?
Well, I think
it makes no sense to me at all.
For most people,
I used to smoke, so I can empathize, but I don't know why anybody smokes today.
Well, I think exactly. It started for most people back in their teen years, let's say, right? And then the habit is very addictive because the cigarette companies keep putting more and more chemicals in there that intentionally they know are very addictive, and they want you to get hooked because for them it's extremely profitable, and the more you smoke, the more profit they make. So
you should be suing them.
Well, I think, some people are attempting to. So eventually it's replacing that with something that's healthier for you. Instead of smoking, replace it with this, you see?
I've given some presentations from time to time where I talk to some people putting away $50 a month or something like that. Put away $100 a month and this is what will happen. And they say, well, I know I should be doing that, but I can't quite do it just now. Okay, I'm going to wait till I get a raise, or I'm going to wait till the baby's born, or after Christmas. Come with a dozen excuses. But I never ever had anybody ever say to me, I've decided to take up smoking, but I can't afford to smoke just yet. Okay, I'm going to wait till I can afford those cigarettes that cost me $10 a pack, actually $20 in before tax dollars, $20 every single day for a package of cigarettes in before tax dollars. So if you make $100,000 a year gross, of that $100,000, $20 per day, over $600 a month, is spent on bloody cancer sticks, which is killing us all, okay? Because even if you don't smoke yourself, you're breathing somebody else's smoke, secondhand smoke. It's the most horrific habit that has ever happened, and the cigarette company should be sued and sued and sued because it is absolutely wrong and dishonest. Okay, so, but I've never had anybody ever say to me that I've decided to take up smoking. I'm not going to do it just yet because I can't afford it. They find a way to afford it. And by the same token, find a way to afford to be able to put away $500, $600 a month, no matter what. Pay yourself first. Take whatever's left over and budget to pay everybody else. And make sure that you give that money to a sound, solid financial advisor that you can trust and knows what the heck they're talking about. That's what this game is all about. And when you do that, you're going to be more successful financially. You're going to feel like you're achieving something. That's going to make you happier. And if you're still stressed out because you're a little worried, you get more knowledge, because knowledge gets rid of a lot of that worry. When you can look at a financial plan, you can see your financial future right in front of you. You say, all I got to do is follow the plan, and I'm going to get there. That'll help you do that. You can see it. Okay? So if you don't have a financial advisor, I'm available. If you don't have a health advisor, you're available. And you'll start with an evaluation. You'll determine is there any cost for that?
No, I offer free consultation.
So you get a consultation, no cost.
Yeah, either in person or over the phone.
Mm-hmm.
And to make sure that the person feels comfortable and then there's a right fit.
Mm-hmm.
And based on that, we can decide whether to move forward.
How do our listeners get a hold of you, Ben?
They can get a hold of me at my office, which is number 604-669-9699, or my website at www.millardowellness.com.
And Millardo is spelled M-I-L-A-R-D-O.
That's right.
As it sounds.
Yes.
Okay. So the Millardo Wellness Center, and we've been talking with Vincent Millardo, who does it all when it comes to health, right?
That's the area that
all the credentials. How long have you been doing this?
Over 25 years in private practice.
So you got lots of practice.
Oh, definitely.
Okay. So again, if you just tuned in, I'm certified financial planner Fred Snyder, also registered financial planner. Anybody who calls the show, or if you want a written financial plan, no cost or obligation, second opinion on your investment portfolio, call Frida. Frida's down at the office. She'll be down there for the next number of hours at the office, taking your calls. Area code 604-737-3512. If you're calling long distance, it's 800-661-1495. Again, I'm certified financial planner Fred Snyder, and I've been offering the book. I don't know that anybody's ever requested one that's called The Show. If you call Frida, we'll make sure you get the book, How to Choose a Financial Advisor. Okay? Because everybody needs one. You haven't got one, you need one. Financial plan, you haven't got one, you need one. Not monitoring your investment portfolio regularly, you need to do it. Time to become more proactive with how you deal with your money, and that's the way to do it. Just make a phone call. We have to go. I'd like to thank all the callers who did call in. I really appreciate your response. And Vincent, I appreciate you coming in here today.
Thank you, Fred. Thank you.
Good job.
Thank you.
Same time, same station next week. Bye for now.